Hey guys, Ningen here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and here we are with the final showcase of the 7 EZA units, TEQ, Nuova, Shenron. After this we'll be taking them into Super Battle Road. I'll try and do a couple of them in the same, like I want to do the Goku and the Vegeta in the same video, probably versus Pure Saiyans. We started off with Nuova on the rotation, so let us see what we can get here on turn 1, and then we'll go through what he does in more detail. I do think he's one of the better ones out of the 7. Obviously I was pleasantly surprised with Evil Boo. 1.37 on turn 1, that's not bad at all. He does raise attack, I think it's for 6 turns. Let's get his details up here, and now we can go through. So, Scorching Jewel Nuova Shenron. After his EZA, he is a Tech Types leader, Key 3, HP attack and defense 100%. It's actually pretty reasonable, useful for things like Super Battle Road. You could run him as like an Extreme Tech sub leader, so not bad at all. His super attack does supreme damage to the enemy and raises attack for 6 turns. So it's a 50% raise, and you're able to obviously get a couple of stacks out of that. So I did bring Pan and this Super Saiyan 3 Goku, because they are both support units, so we can get a little bit of extra damage out of Nuova. Normally I would say Nuova should be run as a 3rd slot support unit, although it does depend what you're doing. So his passive is Key +3 and attack and defense 90%. So that's pretty solid, the fact that he's self-sufficient, attack and defense 90%. Plus you got to remember he's a GT unit, so any unit that has the GT link, that's already 2 key. And then of course, like the other Battlefield EZAs, he has Shattering the Limit. So the fact that he gives himself 3 key, he's not going to have any trouble super attacking. But he also gives Shadow Dragon Saga category allies attack and defense 30%, which is of course a very reasonable number. So let's go ahead and put him in the 1st slot here. Still no support unit on rotation. So we're just going to see his effect with 1 stack from his super. So what was it, about, it was 1.37, something like that? So 1.49, so that's quite a decent increase. We should be able to get 1 more, and we should have a support unit with him on the next rotation. Plus of course he's taking double-digit damage. So one thing I do think maybe a little bit disappointing about him, I guess, although he's primarily a support unit, so it's not so bad, but when it comes to attack links, he has Shadow Dragons for 15%, and that's it. His only other link that isn't a key link is Cold Judgment for 20% defense. I don't think he shares that with many Shadow Dragon Saga units. And then Shocking Speed, Gentleman, Shattering the Limit, and GT are all 2 key links. So there's not a lot of Shadow Dragon Saga characters. I'm literally having a quick look down the Cold Judgment page now, and yeah, there's like no Shadow Dragon Saga characters that have it. Wow, okay, unless I'm missing one, but yeah, there's seemingly no characters that have it. So he's only got 1 attack link, he's got a ton of key links, but he's also fairly self-sufficient, so that's probably not that much of an issue. Like I said, his main role really is going to be for support. So the fact that he doesn't have a ton of key links isn't the worst thing in the world. Plus, he does give himself 90% to attack, and he does raise attack with his super. So he'll still be able to hit fairly reasonable numbers. Of course, being a support unit, that buff also applies to him. So his best link partner on the Shadow Dragon Saga team is obviously going to be Omega Shenron, just because of that Shadow Dragon's link. Any other unit, of course, on the team will link up fairly well because of GT. Literally leaving him only needing 1 key to super attack. So he's very self-sufficient. He's very good at tanking. I will say one of the first things that we're going to do when we start doing some of these Super Battle Road videos is I will of course be taking him into the Shadow Dragon Saga stage, and he can tank ridiculously well. So let's see how much he takes from a super attack. We've got that Goku on rotation for support. So 66k, that's really not that bad, all things considered. And he's up to 1.78 thousand attack stat. Sorry, 1.78 thousand. God, that'd be awful. 1.78 million. Oh man, that would be pretty shocking. So Yeah, he performs pretty well. I'm quite impressed. And the fact that I like it when support units are actually solid, because obviously the last thing you want is to take a support unit into one of the more difficult events in the game and then get killed because they can't take hits to save their life. Like, obviously that is the last thing you want to happen. So let us get these guys out of the way. I mean, honestly, if you have all of the units that I have here, I probably wouldn't necessarily bring the Pan or the Goku, but for Super Battle Road, this would actually work out really well as your two rotations. If you have the LR Super Saiyan 4s, is to have them together and then have the other rotation be Omega Shenron with Nova. Because obviously Nova is a support unit. Omega Shenron debuffs the enemy's attack just by being on the rotation. But I have noticed, like in Super Battle Road, just his attack lowering from his passive isn't really enough for him to tank really well. But then of course with Nova with him, he's going to have an extra 30% defense. So Shenron will be able to tank pretty well. I say Shenron, they're all Shenron, aren't they? So Omega will be able to tank fairly well. And Nova, with that, not only the high stats and his support buff, but then also the fact that he's getting the attack lowering benefit as well from Omega's passive, he's not going to take a lot of damage at all. So let's just double check what Pan does quickly. He has 30% attack and defense, and then the Goku was 25%. It's only for tech and physical types, so you probably know. Oh, he only debuffs attack as well anyway, so Pan's buff is actually slightly bigger. So I think this will probably be the highest we can see out of him. Yeah, 1.82. I mean, considering that he is basically a support unit and we're knocking on the door of like 2 million attack stat. I mean, look at this. Omega Shenron. Is this the friend or my one? Because if this is my one, he's Rainbow. So that's actually ridiculous. Let's see. I'm not actually sure which one that was on the rotation. I think I floated off my one, because the friend I think only has 1 or 2 dupes. But yeah, because I think Omega's next, right? So the friend has, yeah, 2 dupes. Mine's Rainbow. I'll quickly show Nova before I forget. So I gave him 9 additional, 14 crit and 3 dodge, just because he's not really... He's a support unit, but he tanks really well, so I didn't want to give him full dodge. And since his buff is quite large and he does raise attack, he can deal some reasonable damage. So I did go for... This is kind of my standard for a tech or an STR unit, because obviously they get the free level 5 crit. If they're a unit that's just basically there to do damage and doesn't have any special effects like attack lowering or healing on super, that kind of thing, this is generally the build that I go for, 9, 14 and 3. So I would say that's probably one of the best ways to build him. Now obviously you can go for full dodge if you want, because like I said, he is a support unit, so he will benefit from having a large amount of dodge. But I think his stats are reasonable enough, especially in like normal Dokkan events, for example. Modes like this, like when we start getting towards the last couple of fights, obviously he would be at risk of taking a little bit more damage. But yeah, things like Super Battle Road, obviously he's going to get hit that little bit harder. But I have actually already tested him out in Super Battle Road, so I might do that video first since I'm talking about it now. But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with how well he tanks in Super Battle Road. So I'm quite looking forward to doing that video. So Shadow Dragon Saga is one of the stages that I haven't done the no items run for yet. Because I didn't have LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku until the Christmas Tanabata banner, so I could actually buy him with the coins. And I was kind of waiting for Nova's Awakening as well, just to make him that little bit better. Because the team has some very, very good options, but there was always like one missing. And I'm not a huge fan of the EZA Spirit Bomb Goku. And then like Pan, for example, is a decent support, but she gets hit stupid hard. So I didn't realise the Dokkan bar was about to pop, so let's give that 1 second. Okay, so since I caught it, we are going to go back and make sure we're actually getting the Dokkan attack with Nova Shenron. I didn't realise it was that close to going off, so since I actually noticed it in time, I figured we'd just do the soft reset and see what we can get here. Obviously we don't have a support unit on the rotation, so we're probably not going to see his highest attack stat. He doesn't stack infinitely, so he does have like a ceiling that you can get his attack stat to. So what are we looking at here? Yeah, 1.6 mil. So you can see it has dropped slightly. But I mean, we got pretty close to 2 million attack stat with a unit who can tank very well and is a support unit. Probably, in fact, he is, I believe, the best support unit for the Shadow Dragon Saga team. Hey, and there's the additional super coming in clutch as well. And we finish off Vegeta with that. So I think that's a pretty good place to wrap up the video, don't you? So Nuova Shenron, very, very impressive. I'm definitely rank him as one of the best out of the 7. The Super Saiyan Goku is, I would say, probably the best. Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta is obviously very good. There's not a lot of Super Saiyan 2 Vegetas, so it's not like he has a ton of competition. But yeah, Nova's very good. Evil Boo's very good if you're against a Boo Saga enemy. So yeah, they really did good with these Battlefield EZAs. So let me know down below in the comments, have you watched all of the parts? Which one was your favourite? Who do you think is the best of the 7? Give me some ideas of what you want to see. I obviously have a few things planned, but like I said, I'm going to take these guys into some of the Super Battle Road stages and see how they do. So if you have any recommendations of how you would like to see them used, let me know and I will try and get that done. So there you go. That is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.